The Zorvax Dominion prided itself on its precision and ruthlessness. Known across the galaxy as conquerors, they were a species whose empire spanned hundreds of systems. Their fleets were vast, their technology unmatched, and their reputation was one of cold efficiency. When the High Council turned its attention to Earth, they saw it as another resource-rich planet ripe for conquest. The humans, primitive and fractured, would surely fold under the might of the Zorvax war machine. Initial reconnaissance showed them a species bogged down by internal strife and petty disagreements. Their weapons were antiquated, their strategies archaic. The Zorvax saw no need for subtlety. They arrived in Earth's orbit with overwhelming force, confident that the planet would fall within days. The invasion began with a display of power. Orbital bombardments targeted key military installations, destroying them with surgical precision. Cities were plunged into chaos as Zorvax troops descended, their sleek, metallic exosuits glinting under the sun. Humans scattered like insects, some fighting back with their crude firearms, others fleeing in panic. At first, it seemed the Zorvax were right. The humans were disorganized and slow to respond. Their resistance was sporadic and ineffective, and the Zorvax commanders gloated over their initial successes. Entire regions were subdued, their populations either enslaved or eradicated. Zorvax soldiers walked through Earth's cities, as if they already owned them, towering over the humans with their advanced armor and superior physiques. But then, something changed. At first, it was subtle. Resistance groups that had been disjointed and ineffective began to coordinate their attacks. The Zorvax troops, accustomed to quick and decisive victories, found themselves bogged down in prolonged skirmishes. Human fighters started targeting supply lines and sabotaging key equipment, using tactics that the Zorvax found dishonorable and infuriating. One night, a Zorvax garrison stationed in a city awoke to find their vehicles disabled. Every engine had been sabotaged, their fuel reserves contaminated. As they struggled to fix the damage, they were ambushed by human fighters using guerrilla tactics. The humans struck quickly, vanishing into the shadows before the Zorvax could mount a proper defense. The Zorvax commanders dismissed these incidents as minor annoyances. But as the days turned into weeks, these annoyances became impossible to ignore. Across the globe, humanity began to push back. Civilian populations that the Zorvax had deemed docile rose up in defiance. Farmers turned their tools into weapons, engineers reprogrammed Zorvax drones to attack their masters, and even children became messengers for the resistance. The humans fought with a ferocity the Zorvax had never encountered before. They fought not for conquest or glory, but for survival, for their families, and for their home. It was a kind of resolve the Zorvax, who had long since lost any sense of personal stakes in their conquests, could not understand. Then came the counterattacks. Human scientists had been studying captured Zorvax technology in secret laboratories, and they began to unlock its secrets. Within weeks, human engineers were replicating and even improving upon the alien designs. Zorvax plasma rifles were reverse-engineered, their energy shields adapted to resist human weapons. Suddenly, the Zorvax found themselves facing foes armed with technology that rivaled their own. The humans didn't stop there. They began targeting the Zorvax ships in orbit, using modified missiles and stealth tactics to destroy critical supply vessels. Zorvax commanders, who had underestimated the humans from the start, were now forced to operate under constant threat. The once mighty fleet was in disarray, its supply lines severed and its morale shattered. The final turning point came when the humans stopped playing nice. They realized the Zorvax adhered to strict rules of engagement, bound by codes that limited the collateral damage they could inflict. The humans, unburdened by such constraints, exploited every vulnerability. They used guerrilla warfare, psychological tactics, and even misinformation campaigns to destabilize their enemy. One particularly daring raid saw a group of human commandos infiltrate the Zorvax flagship. Using a combination of stolen Zorvax tech and their own ingenuity, they disabled the ship's central command systems, leaving the fleet leaderless for critical hours. The humans broadcast their victory to the rest of the planet, galvanizing resistance groups and striking a blow to the Zorvax morale. As the weeks stretched into months, the Zorvax began to realize the futility of their invasion. Their advanced weapons and tactics, which had worked so well against other species, were useless against a species as tenacious and adaptable as humanity. Every victory they achieved came at a greater cost, while the humans seemed to grow stronger with every setback. The Zorvax High Command, watching from their distant homeworld, finally gave the order to retreat. They had underestimated Earth and its people, and the price of their arrogance had been too high. As the Zorvax ships departed, limping back into the void, humanity stood united for the first time in centuries. The invasion left scars on the planet, but it also left humanity stronger than ever before. They had faced an enemy far superior in strength and technology and had emerged victorious, not because of their weapons, but because of their indomitable spirit. The Zorvax would never forget the lesson they learned on Earth. They had tried to conquer humanity, but they hadn't realized the price of pushing a species too far. When the humans stopped playing nice, the Zorvax learned what it truly meant to fight for survival.